Thursday night football, baby. They just put the best matchups on Thursdays, man. It's just I'm so dude. The Texans, bro. We get the Texans. Are you serious? We get Davis Mills throwing 4 interceptions and the Eagles routing them by 80, dude. Bro, dude, Roger Goodell, you know how to do it, man. You know how to get the ratings, man, and put the best matchups on Thursday, bro. I love it. I love it. Dude, Amazon's probably pissed, but you know what? Jeff Bezos still balling. It ain't that big of a deal to him. We got a dumpster fire game on Thursday Night Football, the Houston Texans and the Philadelphia Eagles, and I got some player props. Dude, this spread opened because I was going to talk about the spread. This spread opened at 5.5. It is now it's skyrocketed to 13.5, 14 at a lot of books too. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. I think a lot of people were they drove this line up earlier on in the week because they were thinking Brandon Cooks was going to get traded at the deadline and Houston was just going to sell off every piece that they had. They didn't do that, and now this line is where it is. But man, it's at a perfect spot because I was thinking about taking the spread in this game, but I just have a feeling that I'm going to get hooked here, and it's going to be right at 13 that the Eagles are going to win this game. They could win this thing by 30. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. I just couldn't get on the spread. But we're going to get into we got two player props in this game that we're going to go to instead. We're gonna settle with some player props. So let's start off with the first one. Davis Mills over 34.5 pass attempts at -125 on PointsBet. The thought process of this is pretty simple. Houston's gonna be down big, most likely, playing catch up. They're gonna have to abandon the run game, and Davis Mills is gonna have to chuck that football. That's what I'm thinking. Being 13.5 point favorites, the Eagles, that's just what's going to happen. They also have one of the best run defenses in the game. They only give up 86.5 rush yards per game. So Dameon Pierce is going to probably get phased out pretty fast in this game. He might still have some decent runs, but he's not going to be a focal point. It's going to be Davis Mills throwing this football. And he's hit this in 4 of 7 games this year, so I like him doing this, especially the game script is perfect. A lot of times, though, when the game script looks perfect, I end up getting screwed, even though everything matches up. But I like this one. Davis Mills, even though it's a little juicy at -125, I like this over 34.5 pass attempts. Everything's there. You got to take this one. Davis Mills, 34.5 pass attempts at -125 on PointsBet. So now let's move on to Miles Sanders, an anytime touchdown at +105. Yes, plus odds at DraftKings. This thing is juiced at I believe -120. You can get this thing on BetMGM at +105. I love that. Houston cannot guard the running backs. They can't keep them out of the end zone, man. They just want them to get into that end zone. They give up 1.4 rushing touchdowns per game. He's hit this in 3 of the last 4 games. You just look at the way running backs have been. Look at what Derrick Henry just did to this team last week, going for 219 and 2 TDs. Jacobs had, Khalil Herbert for the Bears. So running backs are feasting on the Houston Texans front line, and I like him to get this. I really do. He's gotten a touchdown in 3 of the last 4 games. Game script's going to be there for Philadelphia, especially if the spread is what they think it's going to be at 13.5. Sanders is going to continue to run that football. And I think he's going to punch one in here, and I love the plus odds because a lot of places this is juiced up. So take this at BetMGM at +105 for a Miles Sanders anytime touchdown. So those are the 2 Thursday Night Football. Let's move on to the NHL. I got Bo Horvat at an anytime goal at +185 on DraftKings. Anaheim is one of the worst teams when it comes to keeping the puck out of the net. They're giving up 3.18 goals allowed through 65 on 5. That's a lot, man. They just allowed Timo Meier, who screwed me the other day, but that's all right. Timo Meier, a pair of goals the other night. Bo Horvat's coming off a pair of goals in back-to-back games himself, so that's really nice to see. I love how juicy this is, man. I love how juicy this is. He's also getting involved on the offensive end a lot too, averaging in the last 2 games 5.5 shots on goal. So he's really, really getting the puck on net And let's look at these goalies for the Anaheim Ducks. That's what's really, really exciting. Look at so Stolarz. I don't know if it's going to be him or John Gibson in the net. We're going to look at them both. It doesn't matter who it is, man. It doesn't matter if it's Stolarz or not. If it's John Gibson, it's going to be a mess in there. He gave up 2 goals in the first period to the San Jose Sharks the other day. That was yikes. And he got benched in the first period earlier on in the season against the Islanders because he allowed 2 goals in the first. So, and then John Gibson got in there and gave up 5 himself. So it's not like they really replaced him with anything better. Just replaced one trash can with another. So it doesn't even matter, if it's John Gibson in the net. John Gibson has given up a 3.75 GAA in his last 4 games, and he's only hit above a 90% save rate 1 time in those 4 games. So you know what, Bo Horvat, have yourself a night, man. You've gone back-to-back games with 2 goals, plus 185 against the Anaheim Ducks. Give me 1. I like this. Give it to me. So I'm taking that. Bo Horvat anytime goal plus 185 on DraftKings. And then our last bet of the day, let's go to the NBA and talk about Paolo Banchero. Over 3.5 assists at negative 105 on DK. The Golden State Warriors give up the second most assists per game with 28.5. Paolo has hit this in 3 of the last 4 games. And you look at, some of these past guys, what they've done to Golden State. Jimmy Butler had 8 assists. Cade Cunningham had 9 assists. And I'm not saying that Paolo Banchero is Jimmy Butler by any means. Man, I'm not saying that. Don't come at me with I'm comparing Banchero to Jimmy Butler. But they're the same type of guys. Him, Cade Cunningham, these type of guys. The offense runs through them. It runs through Banchero. He's going to set these guys up. And they're really going to have to speed the pace up in this game with Golden State most likely going to be up big. I think he's going to hit this. All he needs is 4 assists here, and I like the odds. It's almost at plus odds as well. So, you know what? I think he's going to get to this one. We'll see what happens. This has been Booksmart, and I'll talk to you guys later.